everybody, this is Angela and you're listening to 5 Picks and a Chick featuring El Gato. This is a show that gives you 5 NFL picks for people who love football and friendly wagering. Today we are joined by our special guest, Rudy. Thanks for being with us, Rudy.
Hey, thanks for having me again.
Hey, El Gato, guess what? Last week, you, me, and our guest picker, Alex, went 4-1. Not too bad, huh?
Man, we got some good picks in. Made some brilliant analysis of the games, of course, as we always do.
Always.
And all we need is for these games to fall the way we pick them, and we look good.
Hey, I know, we look real good. Hey, so my season record is 45 wins, 40 losses, and 5 ties. And yours is 46 wins, 40 losses, and 4 ties. So I say that's pretty good. We got, or at least I did, I got back over that 500 mark. Listening to some of these other guys on TV, theirs are not as good as ours. So I'm pretty proud of that.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good compared to what are supposed to be the professionals. The pros that are paid substantially to come out on TV and make predictions, and here we are, whooping them.
I think it's pretty good. All right, enough about us. My first, this is Wildcard weekend. My first pick is going to be Dolphins +4 at Kansas City. And I know y'all probably think I'm crazy, but everything on paper, or actually about this game, seems to favor Kansas City. Like the cold weather, the banged up Dolphin defense, the Chiefs' playoff history, but yet the spread is only 4. So something tells me something is up about this game. The Dolphins do have the number 1 ranked offense and the number 6 rushing offense, which could help them in the cold weather and those frozen balls. No, I didn't say that for... No, you know what I mean. It's going to be 0 degrees.
Oval ball.
Hey, it's going to be 0 degrees, so that's why I threw that in there. But they are also getting back 2 key offensive pieces in Waddle and Mostert, so I'm going with the Dolphins +4. What are your thoughts on this game, Rudy?
I actually really like the Dolphins here too. Kansas City, I feel like this isn't their year to win it all. So I know the Dolphins. I don't even think they've beaten a team with a winning record this season, but I actually really like the spot. I don't think Kansas City is having that great of a year. Travis Kelce seems a little distracted. Seems like he's been a little distracted all throughout the season. Didn't eclipse 1,000 yards for the first time in like 8 seasons. I think the Dolphins are definitely trying to get some revenge, especially from that Bills game. I know they're missing Jalen Waddle and Raheem Mostert, but I definitely think they want to right that ship. I know it's going to be freezing cold, but I think the Dolphins can definitely pull it out. Low scoring, but I think they can pull it out.
What are your thoughts on this game, El Gato?
Well, as Lee Corso would say, not so fast, right? Not so fast. The Dolphins really had a devastating last 2 or 3 weeks of the season to really blow, winning that division. True, they do have a strong running game. Also true is that they have a bunch of injuries on defense. They've got a couple of linebackers that are going to be out, a couple of pass rushers. I'm not so sure if they're going to be able to get to Mahomes to put pressure on him to get rid of that ball. On the other side, though, the Chiefs, we all know the season they've had. It's been an unusual season for them, struggling offensively, which we haven't seen the last 3 or 4 or 5 years since Mahomes took over as the quarterback. But it's crunch time now. It's playoffs. They pretty much rested all of last week. +4 is a good spot for the Dolphins, but I do expect the Chiefs to cover that. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs, relying on the Chiefs on their experience. Mahomes getting back on track, and hopefully those wide receivers not dropping so many balls, so many passes. And I agree with both of you. Low scoring game, weather's going to play a part, but I think the Chiefs pull this one out.
Yeah, it's crazy to think if the Dolphins had won last week, they would be playing at home in warm weather. My second pick is going to be Cowboys -7.5 versus Green Bay. We all know the Cowboys have a great passing game, but they do struggle running the ball from time to time. Green Bay is not very good at stopping the run. That should give Pollard a chance to gain some good yardage, which should open up the passing game even more. Cowboys should be able to force first-time playoff starter Jordan Love into some mistakes. So I'm taking the Cowboys -7.5 against Green Bay. I'm hoping they light it up. What are your thoughts on this game, Rudy?
I feel like this one's a lot tougher than a lot of people think because the Packers are playing with house money. It kind of seems like they've found, their third franchise quarterback in a row, which is super crazy because a lot of people don't even find 3 franchise quarterbacks in their entire existence. But Jordan Love is playing extremely well. He seems like he's a lot more poised than he was at the beginning of the season. I think a lot of people wrote him off in the first couple of games, but he seems like he's really come on. I feel like he should actually be more in like a MVP conversation. I know his numbers are amazing, but the team's not very flashy. And of course, they took until the last couple of weeks of the season to actually get into the playoffs. But Jordan Love's been playing really good. Their young receiving core has been playing really good. Defense is kind of suspect, but I think this game's a lot tougher to pick than a lot of people think. But I definitely think with the way the Cowboys are playing and their somewhat playoff experience, they can probably cover that.
I like how you say somewhat. That's funny. But true. What are your thoughts on this game, El Gato?
Well, I somewhat had a hard time picking this one because it's a tough one. Rudy made some excellent points regarding Jordan Love at the quarterback spot with the Packers playing really well. It's the last half of the season. The Packers finally got their running game healthy, on the offensive side, I should say. Passing game is there. Defensively, they do have, a tough time on the run game, but they're pretty decent defending the pass. Cowboys, of course, squeaked into the division title, but, they earned it. Let's just say that. In the NFL, you earn everything that you get as far as winning out or winning the games they were supposed to win. 7.5 is quite a bit, even though they're playing at home. I'm talking about the Cowboys. I'm going to go on the other side of that one and take the Packers. Kind of a close game, like Rudy mentioned. 7.5 to me is a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised either way if the Cowboys win by 14, but I'm going to go with the Packers at -7.5. I think they keep it close.
Do you have a third pick for us, Rudy?
I do, actually, and it's going to be the over on the Buffalo Steelers game. Looking at the weather conditions, it looks like there's going to be some light snow. It's going to be super cold, but I think both teams are used to that, especially the Bills. I think the Bills are going to come out and make a statement. I think they can probably get close to the 30s just by themselves. The only person who can really stop Josh Allen right now is Josh Allen. He threw 3 picks, and they still won the game last week. So the way he plays is crazy because he'll throw like a back foot throw, and the receiver won't even be anywhere close, and then somehow he gets there. I don't know what Josh Allen sees, but I think the defense can definitely step up, but the defense isn't all that great anyways. The Steelers' defense has been playing a little bit better. Mason Rudolph, I think, is starting again, but, he's been pretty decent in the last couple of weeks, even though people wrote him off also. I think he's definitely deserving of this chance. I think this definitely has a pretty good chance to get the over, considering both teams are going to be fighting to get to that next round, but I think the Bills by themselves can get to about 30.
What are your thoughts on this game, El Gato?
Weather's going to be a factor in this one. I just read it earlier today. It's going to be, kind of bitter cold. I also read it's going to be one of the windiest conditions ever for a playoff game. So, field goals may be tough to get. On this one, I'm going to go with the under on it. The Bills have been playing well. This last half of the season, that's how they made it into the playoffs by going on that nice run. Josh Allen, of course, kind of unpredictable at times, makes unforced errors, but is able to Rudy's point, is able to come back and run for a first down, or make a third down conversion scrambling, or even with the long ball can hit that also. Steelers defensively are going to be without one of their better pass rushers on the defensive line, T.J. Watt. I think they'll be able to hang quite a bit. I'm thinking defensively it's going to be a field position game considering the weather conditions. So with this, I'm going to go with the under 36.
All right. Well, I agree with both of y'all. So because of that, I'm taking the side. I'm going Bills -10 in this one. Pittsburgh made the playoffs because Mason Rudolph came in and gave them a spark in their last 3 games. But this is a whole different animal with the Bills. and they're hungry for this. So I think Buffalo -10. Now, something else I wanted to say, Buffalo is better in every offensive and defensive category, and it has been 7 years since the Steelers have won a playoff game. Allen is tough to take down. Yeah. And they don't have TJ Watt, the Steelers, that is, their defense. Yeah. So I just think the Bills are going to cover. I hate double-digit spreads, but I'm going to go with the Bills in this one. Bills -10.
What an interesting point you made. The Steelers have not won a playoff game in 7 years?
No, not
That's hard to believe considering Tomlin is still around, right?
Hey,
yes.
But he still has those winning seasons, though.
He still gets them in the playoffs. That's what I mean.
But, kind of in the NFL, it seems like, man, if you can't win at least one playoff game in a 3-year stretch, it seems like, they get rid of you somehow. But I'm surprised you're still there. I'm surprised at that stat that they haven't won in 7 years.
Hey, correct me if I'm wrong on the next podcast, but I'm pretty sure that I saw that correctly. Okay. I like Tomlin, though.
He's a good dude.
He's a good coach. Do you have a 4th and 5th pick for us, El Gato?
Yeah, I have a couple of picks. I'm going to go, it's the Rams at Detroit, and the Rams are predicted to win, or they get plus 3.5 on this one. The Rams, this last half of the season, last 7, I'd say, games or so, they really went on a good run to make it into the playoffs. They're playing some really good football. Detroit, they were my strong team early on, first part of the season. They looked like they were really going to run away with that division. They won it, of course, but they do have some struggles as the season went on. A lot of teams, exposed their secondary, exposed their defensive line, and we're getting to Goff, getting him off his landing spot on his throws. I think the Rams are going to do the same thing on this one. The Rams can score the ball offensively. They're going to keep up, I'm thinking, with Detroit offensively. It's going to be an indoor game, so weather won't be a factor up there in Detroit. I think this is going to be an up-and-down game, maybe into the mid-high 20s, maybe low 30s. If that's the case, then I'll take the Rams at plus 3.5. I'm thinking Detroit's going to have some issues with the Rams' pass game, and now the Rams have a really nice run game going on to complement that pass game. So I'll take the Rams plus 3.5.
What are your thoughts on this game, Rudy?
Yeah, on this one, the Rams have definitely been playing good as of late. Kyron Williams has definitely come on. The NFL scriptwriters are on fire this season because, the Rams are playing the Lions. Jared Goff is playing his old team. Matthew Stafford is playing his old team. There's a lot of good storylines here. The Rams have been playing really good. I think they're a dark horse team to actually make a very deep playoff run. Matt Stafford's been playing really good now that he's healthy. The Rams defense is playing a little bit better than they have been. The Lions have kind of been slipping over the last several weeks. I know they lost a couple that they probably should have won, but with that, I'm definitely taking the Lions to cover.
Okay, interesting. Although Detroit has had a phenomenal season, I'm going with the Rams plus 3.5. They may not be ready. Detroit, that is, may not be ready for this major test against not only one of the hotter teams in the league, only 2 years removed from a Super Bowl championship. I really think the Rams are going to dismantle the Lions' defense, so I am taking the Rams. What's your 5th pick, El Gato?
Yeah, one more pick here is the Texans going to, is that Cleveland going to Texans or the other way around?
Going to Texans.
Yeah, Cleveland is going to Texans.
Cleveland at Texans, even better. So I've got this one going at over 43. So it's Cleveland Browns at the Houston Texans. Now, they met once earlier this year. Both teams scored in the 20s to get it over that 40 mark. And that was without C.J. Stroud, who was injured during that time. He's the difference maker for the Texans. He's been my guy all year. I really like the way he plays football. Cleveland, of course, has a strong defense. I think both teams will score mid-upper 20s. Flacco with the Browns, just playing lights out. All 54 years old of him, still out there spinning the ball. I like the way he plays. He manages the game really well. Doesn't make too many mistakes. Throws the ball away when he needs to. Keeps drives going. CJ on the other side can really throw the ball downfield, can extend plays with his legs, scrambling out of the pocket, scrambling, for those extra 4 yards to keep drives going. I think this is going to be a really good ball game. Defensively, I think both teams will play solid. But I think on the offensive side, both teams are going to be able to score and hopefully get it over that 43 mark.
What are your thoughts on this game, Rudy?
I think this game is also going to go super high scoring. Joe Flacco is definitely exactly what the Cleveland Browns needed. They just needed an adult quarterback, considering their team is so well rounded. Amari Cooper definitely had a really good season, had a historical game a couple weeks ago. And the Texans with C.J. Stroud, I mean, everyone saw what happened when he wasn't there, and he's definitely a huge difference maker. Him and Nico Collins have a really good connection. I definitely think this one easily goes over, but actually, I like the Texans a lot in this one too. Even though the Browns have a really good defense, I think C.J. Stroud's an overcomer. I think the Texans are going to make a small splash in the playoff.
All right.
Yeah, I'm taking the side on this one as well. I'm going with the Texans getting 2.5. This is an old, savvy quarterback against a young gun who just keeps getting better every week. I really like Stroud. I really like this quarterback. Cleveland beat the Texans a couple of weeks ago, like you said, El Gato, but Stroud did not play in that game. Cleveland's defense is ranked number 1 in yards given up, but they let up more points than all the AFC playoff teams except for one. Give me the Texans plus 2.5. I think they'll win this game outright.
Nice.
Any final thoughts, El Gato?
No, we've been waiting all year for this week to arrive, the first week of the playoffs, and here we go. Every snap matters, every yard matters. It all matters now. It's either win or go home. There's nothing like, hey, we need to prepare for next week if we lose. No big deal. This is the path, the journey to the Super Bowl. Here we go. Any
final thoughts, Rudy?
No, other than I think they should extend the NFL season to 30 games or something. Did y'all see that Nick Saban just retired too?
I saw that.
Yeah.
That's
this new generation of coaches is coming up.
Young ones.
Pete Carroll's just got taken or let go. Of course, I think he's going to stay with the organization, but there's a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah.
A lot of changes.
Well, if you have made it to this point in our podcast, we just want to thank you for listening to 5 Picks and a Chick. Be sure to tell your friends about us. Also hit the subscribe and like button on our YouTube channel at 5 Picks and a Chick. Hey, we're at 37 subscribers. I would love to get to 40 subscribers before the Super Bowl. So maybe you have a couple of friends out there that will subscribe to our channel. You can also find us wherever you get your favorite podcasts or ask Alexa to play 5 Picks and a Chick. Thank you to Rudy for joining us today.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me again.
Make sure to join us next week. Our guest picker is going to be Big Zay. As always, thank you to El Gato for being part of 5 Picks and a Chick. 1, 2, 3, break.
Break.